Howdy doody. Welcome to Cajun Connection, where we bring to you Louisiana sports. I'm John Boy, and I'm here today with my co-host, Billy Bob Johnson.
Well, howdy there, partner. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Okay, I just had to do it. You know.
You had fun doing that?
Yeah, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
All right, so I know you wanted to say a few things.
Yes. For those who may have been sleeping under a rock, in case no one knew, this past Sunday morning, the basketball world suffered a terrible loss. Lakers legend Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash along with his 13-year-old daughter Gianna. Huge loss for the basketball community. Huge loss for the sports community. Knowing the type of legend that Kobe Bryant was. I mean, he's a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 18-time All-Star, Olympic gold medalist, and he has been loyal to the soul in LA. I mean, the Grammys, they did a tribute to him starting off the Grammys because the Staples Center, that's a house Kobe built. And I just cannot imagine, what Vanessa's going through, his wife and his other 3 daughters. To lose your husband and a daughter at the same time, that's hard. So my prayers go out to the Bryant family, everybody that was close with Kobe, to the whole basketball community. I have friends and family who were huge Kobe fans, and it really hit them. Not only that, and I saw a post on Facebook saying Kobe died twice that day. The first time he died was from a broken heart. Probably looking into the eyes of his daughter, terrified, knowing that there's nothing he could do to protect her. And it's hard. And my mind's been clouded ever since I heard the news. I remember when you had texted me about it while I was at work. I was like, you probably had to come across some fake news. Like, there's no way, because we just saw Kobe, Saturday night, when LeBron James passed him on the scoring list. And then next thing we know, he's gone. What was so cool about it that, after his death, the NBA teams, they were doing 24-second and 8-second violations in his honor, which I thought was, very classy of him. And, rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball, one of the greatest to ever get on the basketball court. Kobe Bryant may be gone, but his legacy will never be forgotten, and his legacy will always live on.
I know Kobe's the big name, but we can't forget the other 7 people who were on there with him. So,
their lives were just as important as his.
Another father-daughter couple was there,
and a couple of Gianna's teammates were also there as well.
Yeah. So, tragic loss over the weekend. It's never fun to talk about that sort of stuff. But okay. Let's get on with the rest of the program.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
All right, LSU coaching. Coach Joe and his LSU Tigers are kind of tasting a bit of the fruits of the championship success, and that is shake-ups, to say the least.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that Coach Brady is officially left to be the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers.
Well deserved.
Wish him the best. Coach Aranda was named the head coach for Baylor, replacing Matt Rule.
Also well deserved. Coach Aranda, he's been contemplating about becoming a head coach, and I think this is a perfect job for him.
And he took with defensive line coach Dennis Johnson and
offensive analyst Jorge Munoz.
Yeah, Jorge Munoz, who was actually being considered to replace Joe Brady, but he followed Coach Aranda to Waco. And the other, I forget his name, but the receivers coach was actually offered a job. Or was it receivers or secondary?
I think it was secondary coach. And he had decided to stay.
Yeah.
which is an amazing thing
Mhm.
because we may have lost a lot of weapons on offense, on our offensive coaching staff, but we gained a very familiar face. And to the true LSU fans, during his first stint, I hope y'all remember how dominant our defense was. You want to tell them the good news, or you want me to tell them?
Oh, and I think most people know at this point that Bo Pelini has officially come back on the LSU staff to his second stint as defensive coordinator, officially stepping down from
Youngstown State.
Youngtown State, where he was the head coach for 5 years. Actually got them to the championship game back in 2016.
And not only that, he also had some success as Nebraska's head coach.
Yeah, they kind of jumped the gun there, you ask me.
A little. I mean, I think they jumped the gun when they fired him, honestly.
Right.
But I mean, Bo Pelini is a really good coach, and during his first stint, I mean, his defense, that was, I mean, when you face his defense, that was where offenses came to die. I mean, it was like when you're scheduled against LSU against his defense, it's like you are just sending, you're sending your offense to the slaughterhouse going against his defense, especially when he was during his first stint at LSU. So that's why I believe this was an amazing hire by Coach Orgeron. You bring in a familiar face back, a guy who knows the system. And yes, things have changed, things have evolved. But I mean, if his second stint is anything like his first stint, LSU defense is going to dominate, and this is going to be a defense that's going to suffocate anybody that steps in their path.
Yeah, not to take away from Coach Aranda, but I do kind of feel that the 4-3 is more of a natural fit for LSU. However, you do have players like Tyler Shelvin, who is a true nose guard.
Yes, I mean, as big as he is, I mean, he's like, the guy's like 350 pounds.
So completely abandoning the 3-4, I think, is just not in the best interest. I do believe you have to work with the personnel to which you are given, who you have. Even though Bo Pelini does like the 4-3 better than he does the 3-4, you kind of have to come in and use the personnel that you have. Now, they can, in the future, recruit towards Bo Pelini's defense, but, right now, they still kind of have to use the players that were accustomed to Dave Aranda's defense. So it should be interesting to see that transition there. I do like the hire, though.
I love the hire. Love it.
So that was the biggest replacement that Coach O had to come up with. Now you have to replace the defensive line coach. You have to replace the
passing game coordinator,
and the offensive analyst. So,
well, I mean, you think Coach Ensminger could probably handle the passing game responsibilities? I mean, I know there are some things that he learned from Joe Brady, but you think he'll be able to? I mean, from the things that he took from Joe Brady, do you think Coach Ensminger can handle those responsibilities?
I do, but at the same time, you do have to look in the programs with the most successful offenses have passing coordinators.
Okay.
So I do think replacing Coach Brady, while not the biggest, most essential thing to do, they have covered that with the hire of Bo Pelini. That was the biggest hole in the coaching staff. Finding a suitable passing coordinator to replace Joe Brady and complement Coach Ensminger does need to happen.
It does. I mean, and we saw how Coach Ensminger had that sharper edge when it came to coaching that offense. I mean, having a guy like Joe Brady by him. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get a guy as good as Joe Brady, but they're gonna get a guy that's gonna be able. They need to find a guy that's gonna be able to gel with Coach Ensminger.
Yeah. And so yeah, there's that, and finally, rightfully so. Coach O was rewarded for his national title with LSU by signing a $42 million 6-year extension to be the head coach.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I know Coach O is a very happy man. I guess he's going to be looking for his summer home very soon. But well deserved from Coach O. He has done an amazing job since taking over as a full-time head coach.
So, we are coming up on the deadline for the final into recruiting. We already had the early period where they signed 19 players, so they officially have um, 6 spots officially. Although they still, I think they still have 3 or 4 guys out there who are already committed, who didn't sign, but we're going to sign in February. They do still have to hold on to those guys. Most of them, I think, most of those are coming. There's 1 or 2. There's still a bit of a question mark. And they did land an additional 2 recruits. I forget the names. These just broke, so I haven't really been able to look into it too much. But I do know it was a receiver, a 4-star receiver, and a 4-star running back.
I think with this, with the recruiting class, I mean, those who have committed and signed to LSU already, I mean, the ball's in their court. I mean, they're in a dream scenario. I mean, you look at all the players that have already left. I mean, just the aspect you're coming in, you're playing for the defending national championships and the defending national champions. Sorry, and you probably get to play immediately just because of the holes that LSU needs to fill, and they want to try and fill with the best guys possible. So these recruits are highly motivated to make an instant impact coming to LSU.
Yeah, and so as of right now, they have 1 spot left open. Not entirely certain. I know they've been pretty active with some defensive linemen out there. A handful of offensive linemen. I do think that it will be a lineman who fills that official final spot. The fact that they signed the 4-star running back tells me that they have moved on from Zach Evans.
Definitely. I mean, there's been a lot of inconsistency with him during his recruiting season. He decommitted from Georgia, and I thought this was going to be another John Emery scenario, but seems that Zach Evans is on the fence right now.
Yeah. So, rather than continue to ramble, let's move on to the next topic. This is officially the end of this segment. All right, moving on from coaching to basketball.